go live, and it says we're going live and we're live.
Hi, this is StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nima.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 388. Cool. Exciting. There's been a lot of Lisa, Sarah, Sandy, Pat are talking about whether or not we're going to get hit by a blizzard. And that was what we were just talking about. So I have some travel plans that we were planning to travel on Friday. And now, unless we have a Rudolph, I don't think that we're going to be traveling on Friday. 6 to 10 inches of snow and blowing and negative 27 wind chills. Sounds like a perfect dashing through the snow sort of situation, right?
Yeah, definitely a lot of people here talking about changing their plans, not canceling them, just saying, oh, I'm going to leave a couple days early. So yeah, completely understand.
Yeah. And it snowed last night, right? So it was like, I was not expecting the snow that we got last night. It's just been crazy. All of a sudden it's, so I have a coworker that recently moved to Austin, Texas. And he is back in Rochester, and I'm blaming it on him. I feel like the winter is like, we have to get all of this in for when he's back, because otherwise he won't get winter down in Austin, right? So
well, it's definitely burning the cheeks this morning, the wind chill. And what was my thought was too many people wished for a white Christmas. Just
yes, that too.
Because I know that my kids were one of them, or part of that, wishing for a white Christmas, because a couple weeks ago we didn't have any snow. And now we've got a lot coming. And so it's like, it's their fault, really. Yeah. All these people wishing for white Christmas.
Yeah. On one side of our house is where the people pick up their kids. And we can always tell when it's getting kind of further and further into the winter, because the plow comes and it pushes snow more and more into our sidewalk and kind of front area, and we're already to that point. Yeah, that's generally like a January/February situation. Yep. So yeah, it hit fast. I felt like a lot of people were like, oh, it's like, just brown and ugly and cold outside, and all of a sudden it's like bam, snow.
Lots of snow.
So yes, if you don't have anywhere to go, that situation is perfect, right? Like, grab your yarn and away you go.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the roads are even still like, you have to drive pretty slow, because there was like a warm and freeze. So it's like ice, just certain areas that didn't get salt. Yep.
To lower that freezing point. And then, now it's just like coated, right? Like until we get a thaw. Yeah. But this week, last week, we were both very busy and were able to podcast. But one of the businesses is that all of the hats went out. The Muselburls got mailed out. I knit 42 of them. I need to post on Instagram some of the photos, and I took a video of myself throwing them into a pile on time elapse. And yes, they, being engineers, really quickly, somebody in the group was like, well, this is like I can't remember what they called it, like a beanie, this is a, not a hat, like I would call it, right? But like the cool, trendy term for a hat. They picked it up pretty quickly. Some people needed a demo of how to turn it into a hat. And then people were getting pretty creative with not just I have mine, so one of the 42 was my own, so these are very Megan colors. So some of them were not folding it exactly in half, right? So they were wearing it as almost like a stocking, a stocking hat with the super long,
oh cute. Yeah.
I'm like, that's a way to do it, right? But again, it got really cold. And so many of them are in the Midwest and have now been like sending me pictures of like I'm going ice fishing, or I had to go scoop the driveway this morning, and I put your hat on and it's so soft and so warm. And it's just, yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving, right? Like
Oh, cool.
it was so much fun to have them all get together and open them. And then, yeah, their gratitude has just been, they're definitely knit worthy. So
Fun. Did you get like a screenshot of all of them
I
in
did. I got, I can't remember how many of the 42. I think we were like in the above 35
Okay.
that were able to attend the meeting. Again, that was kind of the trying to thread the needle, right? Like who could all attend, because it was my own people, and then my leadership team that I'm a part of, and then a few others like customers that I work really closely with.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was awesome. I haven't heard from everybody that wasn't able to attend yet. But a Christmas or holiday miracle, all of them arrived in time except for one.
Okay.
So I hand delivered one of the 42. One of them is mine, obviously. And so, yeah, 1 out of 40 that got shipped was a little delayed.
Okay.
Like did some little like going back to the distribution center round tripping. Eventually got there. I got the confirmation early this week. So yeah, no, 2022 was definitely the year of the Musaburo for me. I haven't immediately cast on another one, but I have in my, okay, tell me if you're doing this currently. I know that Christmas is like Sunday, right? And I'm still like, maybe I could make a snuggle is real for my mom.
You'll see in the WIPs, I have
Okay.
2 things that I've put on the needles. Now, I do have birthdays coming in January, so there's the potential of the gift moving. But yes, I have had that. Oh, a quick set of mitts wouldn't take too long. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely been doing that.
So yeah, Musaburo, has been my like, oh, or maybe I could make a Musaburo, but I haven't cast another one on. I'm
Mhm.
gonna be like, it's okay. Maybe it would be good travel knitting, but you'll see in my WIPs too. I've got some good travel knitting to work on if I want to as well. So, what else was I going to say? As far as administrati, make sure that you get your head, shoulders, knees, and toes entries in, including
Mhm.
that the four-fecta, I almost said trifecta, extra entry. And because Amy and I have some fabulous prizes lined up for that. And yeah, I started the holiday weekend a little early in your ZKN email, so you could jump on Friday if people have taken Friday off. So Friday to Monday is our extended holiday Zoom. And then, yeah, depending on whether or not I'm traveling tomorrow night to try to outrun the blizzard, I will, we have ZKN tomorrow night, or VKN tomorrow night as well. I'm just saying I might not be able to jump on or jump on from the car, I guess. But yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, do we have a KAO planned for January outside of, for everybody?
Mhm. I've got some thoughts, but I've not
Okay.
announced.
Okay. So thoughts are there. We'll have one. One is
Mhm.
coming. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I've definitely been doing some KAO planning over the last week, getting my projects ready and also trying to finish these WIPs so that I can jump right in January 1st with
Mhm.
everybody. And yeah.
All right. I think
Ready?
that's all I got.
Okay. So I actually have put this project in my purse. So now
Mm.
it is my car knitting or errand knitting or whatever. I just really want to get further along on it, and I was trying to figure out how to get that done. So it's in the purse now, and it has progressed. So, not much, like it's just this tiny
Mhm.
little sections here. But the pattern is fun. It has like little checks like to get through.
Mhm.
So I've gotten through a couple checks since I put it in the purse, and I'm excited. So I guess that's also a tip. Uh, Migrate a pattern into your travel knitting if you don't feel like it's getting worked on enough at home.
Oh.
And then I have a Musel burl. This one's not
Mhm.
striped. Um, and it's going to have mohair on the other side. So I just thought that would be a fun idea. I will probably measure one of my ones from home to make sure that I have a similar length to it as the striped one. Or maybe I could do the math. I know that it's like 6 stripes and there's 6. Yeah, I could do the math if I wanted to.
6 times for me, it was 14. I went to 14 stripes. So.
Okay. Yeah, and I did 16 stripes. So I don't know. I think I had even counted on one of yours to get that number. That's okay. It just
maybe one of them I got. Yeah. I did 16. I don't remember.
No, I swear.
Are you gonna?
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, I swear I pulled up Instagram and found one of your photos of it and counted them. That's how I got there. So maybe I miscounted, but it's actually good.
Are you gonna do the mohair held double, or is it gonna be single, like airy?
It's gonna be airy. Just trying to generate that air and warmth into the hat. And you know, it could be reversible, but we'll see. It's going to my husband, so maybe the fuzzy will always stay on the inside. I'm not sure. But I also was contemplating knitting beyond so that it would just stay in the cap part of the hat, you know, and not be on your ears. But I'm still debating on that one, right? Because if it's folded and
so the only comment that I would make is I think it was Lynn was talking about, she did that, right? Like she wanted the really soft, silky, like she used like a silky yarn on the inside. And I can't remember if it was Musselburgh or just another hat that was supposed to have, and we were like, oh, that's genius. And then she was showing us that when she puts it on, it won't stay on because it slips off, right? Because it's so soft and silky. So your little thought about making it a little longer, at least right here, you would get some friction and some,
probably be a good idea then. Okay. Yeah. Cause again, like, I know that this yarn, as it's knitting up, is just a really cool color, and the mohair is the same. So I could definitely take the leftovers from this and the mohair and make a hat later. You know, if I needed to use extra of this strand and do something with it later. But yeah, I really like this color.
What's the yarn?
It's Dixie something. It was bought at Knit and Bought, and I think it's something like Schmor's Fire or something like that.
Fun. I see it.
And I could be wrong. The pattern that came with the combo was like cookies and cream, but this is not the same yarn. I think this was a different color combo than that hat. But anyway, and then on to the gifts beyond that hat. My mother-in-law requested a hat. So I have just this basic hat out of a really nice Sun Valley Fibers cashmere. And then the ribbing or the cast on was way too tight, and I unraveled it, and it gives you this strange bumps. But this was a fold over anyway, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to sew it or tack it in so that it'll be a permanent fold over. So super warm right there, and then finish it out. So I added all the extra that I ripped out to make sure that it fit. Because again, I got to knitting and I put it on and it was like, I could feel it, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's not going to be good. Now, granted, I do believe that my mother-in-law has a smaller head than I do, but I still don't want it to be uncomfortable. So I just going to fix it. So that was me ripping it out last night. And again, it doesn't unravel, that bottom ribbing when you rip from the bottom, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and sew that into where the ribbing stops, so that it'll be doubly thick there right at the base of the hat.
Nice. What's the deadline on that?
I don't know when we're going to see them. So It's also super quick. I think this is like 2 or 3 days worth of work, and I haven't been focused on 100%. So
Mhm.
I think one more day and it'll be done, and then sewing in after that. And then this is exciting. I found a vest pattern for my youngest, and I
Ooh.
love it. So it's like a houndstooth vest, and it's gonna be really oversized well, not super like at least 6 inches, maybe 10 inches positive ease. So I'm
Mhm.
excited about that. Maybe more. It's hard to tell on here. I did some math and it was 48, and that's like way big, but I think that it's come in a little bit since that measurement. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
What's the yarn?
I just went ahead with Rios, the Malabrigo Rios. So they picked out this color
Mm-hmm.
of orange and black, or this rusty brown and black.
And was that a pick out from your stash or a pick out from online?
I had the black in my stash, and I knew that they would want the black base. Very Wednesday Addams in that regard. And then went ahead and asked them what the contrast should be, and went to in stock items at eatsleepknit.com and said which one.
Ding,
And
ding.
then ordered a couple and had them shipped to me.
Excellent.
And yeah. So
Love it.
I actually finished the green sweater I was working on for my son. It's ready to go to block. He doesn't like the neckline. It's too tight. So gotta do a good block before he gets to try it on again.
Oh,
Because it's not too tight. It's just mental.
yep.
And so it's
Yep.
like, okay, well, if I can just loosen it enough to keep it off of like this part of his neck, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
And there's enough stretch in there. That one was knit very tight, engaged, because I really wanted it to wear nicely for him. He's not very gentle with his clothes. If I didn't knit it tightly, it would be snagged and problems and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
He might not get another sweater until adulthood, depending on how this goes. Well,
Yeah. And is it, I was trying to remember, was it a top down or was it a bottom up? Would it be easy to adjust that neckline?
not super easy. It was a top down. I didn't want to rip it out. And again, it fits nicely. It's a good crew neck. You know how sometimes in hand knits, to get it over your head and still have it fit nice around your neck, it's like it's a perfect crew neck, in my opinion. And he's like, you die. It's like, man, I tried this on several times to see, and it was perfect. No, too tight.
Mhm.
So that's okay. It'll block.
Yeah.
A block to the satisfactory levels for his comfort anyway. So
Yeah. You didn't mention the vest pattern name. What was the vest pattern name?
oh, it's Coco. Coco vest. Yeah.
Is it
So
supposed to look like Coco Chanel, maybe?
I don't know. Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
But
they,
yeah,
I think they have like a houndstooth that's like
okay.
signature, don't they? I don't know.
Could be.
Now I'm batting outside of my my comfort zone there.
If you're going to if you have an interest in that pattern, the gauge is way off.
Mm.
So pattern as written, blah, 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 said I'm knitting my kid the extra small and it's coming out to 48 inches and I'm using a smaller needle, and it's like, you're going to have to math if you get this pattern.
Yeah. Or randomly have that exact gauge.
Yeah. Or well, and I actually honestly think that their math is wrong.
Oh, I see.
I haven't done the calculations yet, but they're like, oh, extra small should be this. And I'm like, no, it was 264 stitches for this extra small to cast on in worsted weight yarn. I don't care what needle you use. That's not going to be an extra small.
Yeah.
So
true enough.
So I'm just like, So there are pictures of people who have very oversized sweaters. And if that's the look you're going for, then great. And the way they styled it, it is really cool. So it could be, but I think that the model in the picture is not modeling it to be that much extra size. Anyway, so beware on that pattern.
Got it.
I am making sure that everything is mapping, and my kid's a medium and I'm knitting the extra small.
Makes sense. Good public service announcement.
Yeah. Look at the pictures of the finished objects. Some people have they're like this, and the houndstooth or whatever looks really big. And again, it's because they went with the yarn and needles that they called for and didn't look at the gauge. And it's like, it's going to turn out way bigger than they said in the pattern. And again, unless I'm misreading something in the pictures and it really is supposed to be, close to 15 inches of positive ease on every single size, then maybe that.
Yep.
But yeah, I just remember that in my brain, I'm like, the extra small has 264 stitches in worsted weight. I'm like, I don't know that I would cast that on in fingering weight for myself.
Yeah.
A lot.
It is. It is indeed.
That's all.
Oh, okay. So I haven't cast on all of the things that I've been thinking about casting on. But my brother did mention that my brother Matt, which I cut out his foot in 2016.
Okay. That's how you do it.
Mentioned he's all about what?
Oh, when I was giving it as a tip, I said their age, but if it's an adult, you put the year.
Yeah, I don't think his foot has changed, but it's interesting that I did this in 2016. And he was mentioning that he is about all things merino. He's buying sweaters, he's buying underwear, he's buying socks. And so I decided I was going to cast on a pair of socks for him. This is just some Felici fingering in the Under the Sea colorway. And this is the Partying It Up. Again, the screen is not that iridescent, but it's coming across as such. Just a little something to do with the stripes to keep it from being too mind-numbing. I don't have any delusions that I'm going to get this done in time to give it to him for Christmas, but we'll see.
Are you gonna up and down?
I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna up.
Up. Okay.
So
because the pattern comes with up and down.
It does indeed. So yep, I've been putting it on the little thing and like, oh no, not quite there. But that's been some walking on my desk treadmill and either in a meeting or whatever sort of type knitting, right? So it's filling the spot where the Muso burrows once were, as far as mindless knitting. And then I have all of my, I can't even just say both of the patterns. 3 of my sweaters are still on the needles. The pressed flowers got set aside because I needed to figure out, I had done the back, but I needed to figure out what I was going to do for the fronts. My husband pointed out, it looks like it's going to be very large and it is supposed to have some positive ease. In fact, like it goes out over your shoulder. So it's almost like a drop shoulder, right? In the cardigan form. So I figured out what I wanted to do there and then did it 4 times, which has been interesting, right? I want to make sure that I'm doing things that I like and similarly between all of them. Still really loving the colors. And I'm trying to think through what I'm going to do with the sleeves as far as do I do it the opposite? I think I'm going to do it the opposite direction, right? Gradiate the opposite direction. But futzed a ton with the neckline and the shoulder seams. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but she just has like one line on the cardigan, like seam, use spare yarn and seam, the bound off stitches from the front and the back together. I ended up doing my own thing. I didn't like the way that this pattern is really textured. And then the seaming was very flat. So I ended up picking up stitches through the bind off, creating a garter row across. So you create the shape, right, by binding off and knitting back and binding off and knitting back and binding off and knitting back, right? Or the opposite direction, sorry, from the way I was doing it. This part that has more fabric was worked more, right? So you're slowly there. And I picked up and made a garter row and then did kind of a 3 needle bind off. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through those live stitches and the bound off stitches on the other side. And really just kind of futzed with it because I wanted it to look right. So I was kind of giving myself a foundation across that uneven bind off of all of those stitches to do the 3 needle bind off with. And I like the way it turned out. Again, I don't know that it looks like much, but I didn't like the way it looked when I was not doing that. So that's what I did. And then the neckline, these got set aside again because the neckline, I had to decide what I wanted to do. Again, in the cardigan, it's just ribbing on both sides of an open, you pick up along and do some buttons. I decided to pick up all the way around and then do some center double decreases here. And then much like the Easy V up on the shoulders as well. I don't know if you can see that. Really like the way it made it lay. So the center double decrease is aligned with where I seamed the shoulders. And then down at the bottom to kind of give it that V shape. And yeah, just super, I'm loving it. The sleeves are the next frontier. So that's the blue and green one. And this is the brown and pink. Yeah, I don't know. It does look a lot more gradiated. I think I mentioned that while I was talking about it in the works in progress here. It really looks like there's a band of that darker color, but in real life, I feel like it's not as dramatic. Maybe Zoom is trying to add some drama. But then decided to do the neckband the same on this one. I had thought about having it overlap, kind of like a more folded. And while I do enjoy sweaters that have that, I think I like it when it's a little higher up. And I knew that this was going to hit me more like a V-neck, right? And so finished them in the same way. I had the option to do it in a different way if I wanted to, but really just like how it laid and what it looked like in that way. So yes, enjoying those. But yes, that is the pressed flower pattern and it's sport weight. So I am holding or using a sport weight-ish DK for the blue one. And this one is a sport weight-ish DK, the brown as well. It's like an alpaca, which I know is not a great thing for you, Amy, but an alpaca silk, I think. And then fingering held double to make the gradient. So those are making progress. I'm excited to wear them and have that finished, but haven't taken on sleeves yet. I'm thinking it'll be downhill, lather, rinse, repeat once I get figured out what I want to do with the sleeves. So, and then this green, it does not like the green, but I'm telling you, it's beautiful and it's not this like alien. My spark, which I made a little longer than my other spark. And then I also, sorry, that it's actively being worked on here. I did not.
My head shake is about how many people are texting right now and it's interrupting you.
No pockets. So I decided to be pocketless. And again, I'll have to take a really good picture and post it either on Ravelry or Instagram. You're just not seeing it, right? Like up at the top, it's kind of this light pale blue, and then it progresses to pink here, and then it's more purple, and then a darker purple and a blue towards the bottom. So I'm using kind of my leftovers from Suburban Stitcher from my advent last year. So I've got all these little pieces that still need to be used. They were weaving amongst themselves in the bottom of the bag. So that's why I grabbed this little pouch to put them in, because I was like, I cannot spend so much time untangling the ball from all of the other people that it's having fun with in the bottom.
So a fun moment there is you're starting to hold it up like this, and I was like trying to lean to look inside of it. It's not gonna work, Amy.
Oh, you mean the little pouch? Sorry.
Yeah, you were. I couldn't quite see into it, and my brain was like, "Oh, I can just like come up with cute."
So yeah, again, just really a lot of fun with marling. I really do wish that this would show it not with, but I guess that's what you get for green being the color of green screening, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, super fun. Again, just a little bit to do here with the color work every couple of rows, right? My first one I did, I think the green or the just knit solid row was supposed to be, in the main color was just supposed to be one row in between some of the repeats, and I expanded into two. I don't know. I just really like the way it looks versus kind of a more condensed speckle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, still kind of insane to me that I have this many sweaters on the needles, but I get to a point with the pressed flowers where I have to make a decision, or I like need to set it down, and then I pick this up and just kind of working the magic that is non-monogamy, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, imagine if you got to the point where one of them needed something and you weren't in the mood to do it.
Yes, which is what I'm doing, right? I'm moving on to a different one. I'm picking up the sock. I'm working on the color work on the Sparky. I'm dreaming of other things that I'm going to cast on.
Yes. Yeah, my queue is full of texture for the new year, and I have a couple of items that are ready to cast on. I shouldn't say that. I need to wind the yarn, but I have everything. I have the pattern, I have the yarn, I have the needles. I just need to wind it, and I'll be ready to go.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, loved all of your plans and works in progress, and away we go.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, Yuvta.